This is Chris,
This is Nick.
and you're listening to The Midnight Tapes. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Midnight Tapes. On this week's episode, we have an urban legend for you guys coming straight out of Chihuahua, Mexico. So not that it takes place, but this is coming from a bridal shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they sell wedding dresses and bridal accessories, and what the main focus here is they have a mannequin at the window. It's been there since March 1930, so pretty much that's more than 75 years, I believe. Excuse me. The mannequin's name is La Pascualita. She has astonishingly expressive facial features, thick eyelashes. People say she has a glassy-eyed glaze. And pretty much what I guess the main point of the story is people believe that this mannequin is actually a well-preserved body of a person.
Mm-hmm. So
they say that the hands look very realistic. And you know how usually if you go to a store or the mall, mannequins are usually blank-faced, white, like figures?
Yeah.
Like not really any...
They don't have like a special, like, personified look.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not the case with this one. This one has a face. This one has a face. This one has hair. This one has eyelashes, eyes, and the hands especially look like super realistic. It hasn't some people say that the mannequin has a resemblance to the original owner of the shop, which her name was Pascuala Esparza, which is why they named the mannequin Pascualita, just like like a little nickname.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are convinced that it's actually her, that they preserved her kind of like a mummy. Other people think that it's actually the owner's daughter, and they think this because she was about to get married, and she actually died before her wedding, and not long after they said that that's when the mannequin first appeared, like on the storefront. People claim that the mannequin's eyes follow them around the store, and that when you turn away and turn back, she changes positions. And only some workers of the store are allowed to change her because it's a mannequin. It models different clothing.
Yeah.
Only some workers are allowed to change her. And my thing is, why would only some workers be allowed to change her if it was just a mannequin? This kind of entails that maybe they don't want everybody, just any worker, to see what's underneath the clothes. A worker explained that she had to change her every week, and that she would get really nervous around the mannequin because her hands were realistic, and she had veins that you could visibly see like on her leg. So I guess my thing is to open up like just for a little bit of the discussion. Is this real, or is this just kind of something that was created so like the company could have business? In your personal opinion, like, are you scared of like inanimate objects, like more specifically mannequins or dolls?
To be honest, like, there's always gonna be those dolls, you know what I mean, that like freak you out, like the ones that just look kind of too realistic, but at the same time they're not realistic, you know what I mean? In my personal opinion, the thing that like freaks me out the most about dolls is them looking realistic, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's that kind of thing where it's like it looks human, but it's not human. So what is it, kind of thing? Like it's not human.
And I even know professional artists who actually make like dolls for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make a doll of their baby for like a client's like, I wanna make a doll that looks like my baby just to kind of preserve,
sure,
like how they used to look, and they make these and they look super realistic and they have glossy eyes and but the thing is here, like do you personally believe that the mannequin is just a mannequin after looking at the pictures, or do you think that this is actually, it could be the owner or even her daughter?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the thing about mannequins is, like, although they do look realistic, at the end of the day, they're just plastic, right? So
okay.
that's kind of where it makes me, like, for me, like, I'm not very scared. It's just, like, creeps me out. It's a creep factor. But with the pictures that you showed me, and, like, we'll link to the pictures in the description, if you guys want to see them. But with the ones that you have shown me, to be honest, the thing that gets me is the hands. I've never seen a mannequin that has hands that detailed.
Exactly. And like, this isn't the first time that we hear of the idea of preservation. Mm-hmm. They used to do it to mummify people, and oftentimes when there's like a funeral service, like the people's loved ones get preserved.
Sure.
And I've seen a side by side picture of the daughter and how the mannequin looks, and they don't look that far off. And I know like when people are preserved for like a funeral, like like they have like a certain look to them.
Mm-hmm.
They look different. Like their face looks different after like the preservation process and getting ready for like the service.
Yeah, like it just something about it looks exactly the same, but something about it just doesn't feel right. And it's like, and it's not that it doesn't feel right. It's just like you look at them and it's kind of like, that's not the person that I knew like the whole time. Like it looks like them, but it's not them.
That's why it's hard. Like when they do these open casket like services,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at your loved one, but they don't look exactly the same. And I believe that that's the case here. I'm not sure if this is actually a preserved body or a mannequin, but it looks really similar.
Absolutely,
and
man.
if it were to look different, I wouldn't doubt that it was because of preservation. Like a lot of people want to keep their loved ones around, and sometimes they do things that not many of us think is conventional. Like they want to keep their loved ones around, just like people stuff their animals and
Mm-hmm.
stuff their dogs, stuff their cats to keep them around. Who's to say they didn't do the same thing with her?
Exactly. Honestly, if you would ask me like you did, if it's a mannequin or if it's a human, it's a rough thing to say. I don't want to be like disgusting or anything.
Yeah.
But if I was one of those people that would change them, I'd probably look for something that normal mannequin makers don't usually do.
Oh, okay, yeah, like you're saying, like you'd probably like if you were the worker who had to undress a doll, you would look for the anatomical features
Exactly.
to see if like it's a real person. Yeah, and like I don't know if it's a thing where like maybe workers don't speak up because it's a thing of respect
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to be the ones just telling other people's business. But honestly, like I said, this isn't the first time we hear of people preserving bodies. And even Vladimir Lenin, he was his body
Mm-hmm.
has been preserved. We'll link him to an info about him. But his body has been preserved for over 30 years, and he looks perfectly like well preserved.
Sure, like he just died the other day.
Yeah, exactly. Everything about him looks fresh. His mustache is well groomed. His skin looks still intact, like just like it bounces back.
Mm-hmm. Now, my only question about this is how would they keep a mannequin? Well, not mannequin, I should say. How would they keep a body well preserved in a store?
Yeah, because there's a whole factor about like the way they keep bodies well preserved is with solutions and stuff like that and maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is a bridal shop, like can they really afford all this maintenance just to maintain a doll who apparently has been around or a mannequin who's been around for 75 years on the storefront? But then again, there's a thing where like, okay, say it's not like the daughter or the owner, but it's just a mannequin. Like you got to admit, like the mannequin has a presence.
No, absolutely, it looks real.
It looks real, and who gets a mannequin? The hands look kind of bruised. They have fingernails. Like people said they've seen veins on the legs.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like all this detail for what, if it's just a mannequin.
If it's wearing a dress, why would you have veins on their legs like that are not being able to be shown?
Exactly. I don't know, like this really leaves it up for discussion, and it wouldn't be the first time that people have done something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of if you had to for sure 100% say if this is an urban legend or this is a reality, what would you say?
Damn, honestly, the way that all this is leading up with the hands looking as realistic as they do, with the especially the veins, that's what really gets me.
Yeah,
I would say that this is probably real. Somehow they found a good way to preserve it. They probably do some stuff to it at night, because if it's a bridal shop, they can be doing it in the day while they have a lot of clientele. Yeah. And I think it's a good business scheme too.
Yeah, definitely.
It gets more people around because this is the place that has
the doll. Yeah, and exactly. It's probably like an urban legend in the city itself. Like people are like, oh, she probably comes out at night, stuff like that.
Attracts more tourists.
Exactly, more business for them. But I can't put down the fact of that picture of the hands. It looks too real. It looks like it has like calluses from just being like stale and old since forever. But would there be anything you'd like to add for the end of this?
No, honestly, it's just it's a very creepy thing. It's something that I obviously would not feel comfortable around it at all. I'd probably go check it out, but I wouldn't feel comfortable. Especially
working there, like as a worker, like some people work night shifts and stuff like at retail stores, and I even have some friends that have told me like I'm scared of the mannequins, and those are blank.
Yeah.
So imagine like a lifelike one, like it's bound to just give you that creepy factor.
Yeah.
But if I had to say whether or not like I believe it's urban legend or a reality, I would say I lean more towards the reality, just because of that picture. If that picture of the hands didn't exist, it looks lifelike but not enough. I just don't know who would put that much detail into the hands.
And why?
And why there would be veins under the skin and, you know, stuff like that.
Like, they're not hand models. You know, she's not hand modeling.
Mm-hmm.
She's modeling for a dress. Usually, hands. Although sometimes they do add fingernails, they don't look that lifelike, and I just can't get over that.
Yeah, but like we said, you know, we'll go ahead and link the website where we got some of our information from. You guys can see all the pictures. But I think that's been it. Would you like to add anything else?
Nah, that's pretty good.
Until next time, this has been the Midnight Tapes.